What is going on, everybody, and welcome back. It is Foreign, and we are making emblems in Advanced Warfare. And so let's get into it. So today we are going to be doing revenge gaming. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. A good friend of mine is the owner of this team. Pretty solid squad. So let's get into it. So like I told you guys before, a lot of this stuff I try and use objects that anyone can use, that you don't need to actually unlock. So let's get into it. So I don't think that this actually turned out the greatest. I think that I could have spent a little more time on it, but it gets the point across. Also, it's pretty accurate as to what it is. So anyways, let's get into it. So for starters, I started off with the gun, which is the top of the R. And to create its basic form, I used this little object. I can't really think of what it is. It's like a skewed rectangle. So I used this object, and this is going to be like the base of what everything is. So here, I'll move this one around so you can see it. So this is like to create the actual barrel itself. So I use this little piece right here, and you just kind of position it in there like so. I'll actually just reset the layer so it goes into the place that I had it. Let's scoot it over a bit, actually. So it's pretty simple. Just put that into place, and then taking another one, I actually flipped it and rotated it. And that's kind of how you're going to create the rest of it. So it's a pretty large one for this one. It's a little bit skewed using the scale option. And I think that I actually scaled it horizontally. I could be wrong. I'm really fucking bad about remembering if it's horizontal or vertical. So anyway, so that's pretty simple. So like once you get that into place, you kind of have like the form of the barrel itself. We'll actually just reset that layer. And then going back to the center, now start to create that little curve that'll lead into the rest of it. It's kind of like a rectangle with a circle taken out of it. So you just use that to create the curve that's going to lead into the rest of the R, like the top part of the R. We'll reset that. And then there's just a few little objects that kind of create like the hammer and stuff like that for the back of the pistol. So nothing too crazy. And then this is another piece. It's kind of like a teardrop flattened piece. So that's kind of how you create the barrel of the gun, and then the back of it as well. And then I think that this piece also does, yeah. So this is skewed vertically. I'm so fucking bad at this. And then flipped it and then kind of rotated it to fit the position. And it kind of creates the top of the thumb rest. So we'll reset that. And now there's like slotting underneath the barrel. So I used the E to actually do that. So I just kind of skewed it horizontally. And then just kind of put that into place so that it creates the different sections. So it's not exact, but it's pretty close. And then there's also a bit of a different shape for the bottom corner of the barrel. So I just used this like diamond kind of shape, skewed it a little bit, rotated it so it was fitting properly. And then I used the trapezoid. So the trapezoid is what actually gets the slot in the top where the bullet will actually fly out of a pistol. I think it's like a release chamber or some shit like that. I'm not exactly sure. So I used a couple of those around to kind of create that shape right in here. And then this is the actual this is like where the crosshairs would be on a pistol, or the back crosshairs would be. The front crosshairs are another piece that are coming up. And then this is to start creating the top of the R. It's like a weird hook thing. So I just flipped it and then skewed it vertically. And a little bit horizontally as well, just so that it kind of juts outwards a little more. And then there's a big bar. The big bar creates that the rest of the R. And then this is the other. Oh nope, this isn't the other part of the crosshair. I don't know where that piece is. So this was to finish off the slots and then to make it form into that curve that leads into the handle. So reset that. And then this piece actually isn't needed. I think when I first made this it was needed because there was a slight gap, but there isn't one anymore. So that piece isn't necessarily needed. And now we start getting into the actual R itself. Where the fuck is that piece? I actually don't know which piece that is now. Oh, you know what? It's actually this piece right here. Wham! That little dude right there. That was that. So that'll take care of most of the actual gun itself. Something that's really interesting that they added into this is you can actually start linking layers. So if I linked all of the red layers, I can move all of them together, which is really nice. I wish that you could actually scale them as well, but unfortunately you can't. Because if I could scale and then I could also like skew it a little bit more, that would be really nice. But unfortunately we don't have that feature in this game. But who knows, we might actually get it with the next Black Ops or Treyarch game, because they are the people that did the emblem editor to begin with. And now we're going to get into the bottom part of the R. So the bottom part of the R, it's a lot of like mixing and matching of different pieces and just kind of figuring out what's going to work, and then some filler pieces. So first off, we have this like hook thing. This is kind of to create the first curve of the bottom of the R. So we'll reset that layer. So we get that into place, and then we have another one that kind of creates the other portion of that. And then, oh, it looks like that actually wasn't needed whatsoever. So I have an extra piece in here, so I'm actually going to just reset it. I'll just leave it. I'll leave it as is. That piece actually isn't necessary. And then we have a bar that'll actually finish off the top part of the bottom R. Then we have a half circle. This has been skewed horizontally and then rotated, just so that it forms that little butt shape that happens in there. Reset that layer. And then this is like actually a big part of what creates the curve. Or is this part of the curve? I actually think something else is part of the curve. Something else actually does this. So this is to create that sharp edge on the left side of the bottom R. Set that layer, and then this triangle skewed vertically. God, see, I'm really bad at this. I'm really bad at explaining things. And then this is kind of to fill in this shape, as well as it starts to create a little bit more of an exaggerated skew for the inside curve. So we'll reset that layer. And then here we have the top curve. I don't even know how to explain this shape. I really don't. But as you can look at it and see, it's been skewed horizontally and then rotated so that it'll actually create that downward swoop to the left. So down and to the left. Reset that. And then this is just a filler piece. As you can see, there's that little gap in there. You can really use any piece for this. You don't have to use the one that I used. But that's just a little filler piece just to cover up that little gap. Reset that. And then this is another filler piece as well. So I could have actually stretched it so that it fit a little bit differently. But again, filler pieces really don't matter that much. It's really whatever you would like to do for it. And then this is what actually I used to create that curve on the top left of the bottom. And then this kind of just leads into the top bar up top. And there you have it. So I did have to select... I did select sections and kind of move them around so that they created a good spacing between the top of the R and the bottom of the R. As you can see, it looks close. It's not exact. But if you want to get exact, I mean, there's still an extra 4 or 5 layers right there. There's a couple more filler pieces. There's a few that actually weren't even needed at all that you could probably use then to get it a little more accurate. Also, just playing around with it. I mean, this one actually took me quite a bit just because it is a little more complex. This one probably took me about 30 to 40 minutes. But it's not incredibly difficult to the point where you just don't want to do it ever. So it's really all up to you guys if you guys would like to make it. Support Revenge Gaming, some good people. So let's actually go and check it out on the actual Exo Suit. So we'll apply to the player card, and then we'll back out. So when it's actually small and it's actually like on your player, it looks really nice. Looks really clean. You can see the 3 spots on the back, and then there's the one on the thigh as well, like in the other videos. So anyway, it looks pretty nice on the suit. If you guys make these, let me know. I like to see what you guys have actually created from my tutorials. And then you can also just use these techniques in general to create your own as well. So anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like. If you have any suggestions of any other ones that you would like to see me make, let me know in the comments section down below. And that's all I have time for, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.